You're a good boy, Bear. You big bear.
All right, welcome back to Minor 49er on this week's special Christmas edition. I got Mrs. 49er with me and Bear. Yeah. I don't know if he's in camera or not, but he says Merry Christmas too.
Loves those ear rubs.
Well, we just wanted to make a special video this week, seeing how it's Christmas and Hanukkah time of the year, and wish you all a happy holiday. Thought it would be fun to go over some of our favorite minds and the adventures of the year, and some of the scariest moments, and maybe a few highlights, and some ideas of what we've got coming up in this next year. So, yeah, if that interests you, sit back, relax, enjoy a hot cup of cocoa, and watch our video. Right?
Right.
So I think, looking back, there were a lot of mines that I had a lot of fun exploring this year. One, I can't remember what it's called. I had to make a list. Yes, I know, I stopped petting you there. I'm sorry. During the spring, I believe it was, I was having a pretty rough time at work. I teach middle school English, so that should tell you all you need to know. I don't get hazard pay.
Nope.
So I took a mental day, a day for myself, because I needed a break. And I went and explored some mines, and that's when I came across that old mine with the bus in front of it. I don't know if you guys saw that or if you remember it or not, but it's called Abandoned Mine in the Middle of the Desert. It's a two-parter, I believe. That one was just a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. I loved the way that one looked. I got to spend the day, just me. I don't think you were with me.
I don't think he was.
No, he wasn't with me. It was just me.
Yep.
And the mine that I found was really cool. It was a good deep mine, but that bus that I found at the very beginning, that was a lot of fun as well. And just the way that the tracks led out to the dump pile, to the waste rock pile, was just really cool. When I think of an abandoned mine, that's the kind of mine I think about, you know, the kind of one, the kind of look that I have. At the same day, so this would be a different week's video, but the same day, I found another mine, a smaller mine, but it was still a lot of fun because I was able to climb down into it. I had to shimmy down this long, skinny pipe, and it was really steep, and it was a lot of fun. Not much of a mine, to be honest. The fun part for me was just getting down into it, as is often the case. What about you? What are some of your fun, favorite mines of the year?
Well, some of my favorite mines were the title of it, it's the awkward climb into the mine. And I think that one was just my favorite because it's been a while. I'm active, I'm a runner, I do marathons and half marathons. And my dog Sarah, who was Bear's mama, was getting very restless.
Yeah. Is that the one that just came out a few weeks ago?
That just came out a few weeks
Yeah.
ago, yeah. And there's several videos in a row. But we spent some time out there, and Bear loves coming out. They both love coming out. We're an outdoor family. We just like to be out.
Yeah, we are.
And it was fun for me because
I think Sarah's behind the underneath
Sarah's
your
over there.
desk.
But it's been a rough recovery with my injury, but it was just nice, even though I didn't push myself as much as I did, but it was still a fun day.
We're not distracting
Yeah.
at all, are we?
Not at all. Anyway, but yeah, Sarah's my running buddy. She's my running partner, so she was getting restless. I was restless, and it was just fun for us all to get out, even if it was just a short time that we were out. But yeah, those just came out a few weeks ago, over the last few weeks.
Another one of my favorites is called Exploring an abandoned nuclear fallout. And that
Yeah.
was fun because I got to do it with my dad. He came out, he and my mom, for a visit, and I took him out exploring that old mine. I don't know if it actually is a nuclear fallout. I was told that by some people who live locally, but then some comments on the videos and me just thinking about it made me question whether that was actually the mine I found or if that was actually what it was. I don't know. But what made that one so fun was just being able to explore it with my dad. I had explored that one before. That's the same mine where I had climbed down that 1,000-foot shaft. I'd only climbed down 150 feet of the mine, of the 1,000-foot shaft. That's because the ladder ended. But exploring it with my dad, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. I like spending time with him.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we can't really talk about our favorites without mentioning unearthing a sealed abandoned mine. That
Oh,
was the
man.
year's highlight for sure.
That was the highlight, yeah.
It really was.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
I remember we were at the opening of it where we were just eating lunch or something over there, and we were a little discouraged because we found a few mines, but they weren't big like we were expecting them to do, and we could tell it had been caved in, and you just like, I want to go dig. So he went and dug, and
Yeah, and we found it.
within,
Frank and I were not expecting to actually find one. We're like, we'll just dig for 10 minutes or so, and if we find anything, we find anything. If we don't, we're going to go home.
Yep.
But no sooner did we dug than we found something.
not even 5 minutes.
And digging it out was a lot of fun. Hanging out with Frank was a lot of fun. Hanging out with Mrs. 49'ers, always a lot of fun. But that was definitely the highlight of the year.
Yeah.
Being able to find that mine that had literally been abandoned and unexplored for over 100 years was just really, really rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to doing more of that, more safely. First times of things are always more risky and iffy in what I do. So I'd take more precautions next time. But I'm definitely looking forward to doing something like that again in the future. We were driving up the mountain trying to get to a mine on the top of the mountain that Frank had found. And halfway out we discovered just this shaft off the side of the road. I'm driving along trying not to drive off the edge of the cliff.
Oh, it was scary.
And Mrs. 49'ers in the back of the Jeep holding on for dear life, and all of a sudden she's like, I think that was a mine. We stopped and put the Jeep in reverse a few yards, and sure enough, there was a hole in the ground. So we got out and went to explore it, and it turned out to be a really cool mine.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Just random location, too.
Yeah, halfway up the mountain or something.
Yeah, just right off the edge of the road.
Yeah.
It's like they had started going up the road and then got tired and dug a hole.
Yeah. And it was a good length tunnel, too. It wasn't a shaft. It was a tunnel that we're able to go in quite a ways. There's a lot of moisture on the rocks. It was really cool seeing, like, I remember seeing little, what was it, moths in there. They were dead.
Something like that.
But they had dewdrops on them. It was really cool.
Yeah,
Other
it was
droplets.
a very moist mine.
Mm-hmm. Moist.
Moist.
But yeah, going up that canyon was quite memorable. Did he get you?
No.
He thinks we're just trying to play with him. He had his birthday a few weeks ago.
He did. He turned
7.
7?
7.
7 years old.
Yep.
What are some of your other favorites? I've kind of said a bunch of mine.
I like the Never Ending, or as we call the Never Ending Mine, but the title is Holy Cow Mine, where it just kept going and going and going. We turned around.
We never got to the
We
end.
never got to the end, but both of us were thinking, wouldn't it be awesome if this just came out the other side of the mountain? It felt like it was going to do that, but it was getting to the point where like, okay, we need to
there was no more floor.
Yeah.
The floor kind of
The floor
turned into
was
boards.
turned into boards, and we're like, yeah, this isn't so safe anymore. So we turned around. But we're going straight down the tunnel, at least half an hour.
Yeah, it was a lot. We were in that mine for a very long time.
And there's just going straight through, and we there's a what was it, a ore chute going up. That once we passed that, we stopped feeling the breeze of the fresh air coming through.
Yeah.
But it was, holy cow, that mine was deep. It was.
A friend of ours actually went back and explored that same mine. I don't know if she did it because of our video, or if she just happened to be out there. But I don't think she got to the end either.
I don't think so.
I think she might have turned around before we did.
Probably.
I don't remember. It was deep.
Mm-hmm.
It was really not the deepest mine I've been to. I think that one belongs to the one that Frank and I explored a number of years ago. I don't remember the name of that video, but it was like a 7-part video.
Oh,
We were in that mine for 4 hours, 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours, wandering around. It was really cool.
yeah. Oh, bear.
You can brush your teeth, dog.
Another highlight for me, this is probably just because it's a fun personal one for me, is the anniversary gift I got him.
I like that one too.
Very short video, but it was just fun because I know he has his logo on the door of his Jeep. He used to have a YouTube sticker with it, but I'm like, let's get this one. Yeah, that YouTube.
Faded within 3 months.
Yeah, it was a crappy
It's a
one.
joke.
So I had this custom ordered and got it for him. And if you haven't seen that, like I said, it's a short video, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Toby, our one of our other dogs. We have too many dogs. One of our other dogs debuts in that video,
Yeah.
and my daughter Casey helps me put the sticker on.
Yeah.
In terms of when videos came out, my last favorite mine was my notes are down here. I'm not trying to avoid eye contact. Exploring a deep... No, wait. Oh, sorry. Awesome Abandoned Mine. I don't know why I couldn't remember that name. And it was on that same video where Sarah came out with us. Sarah, our dog. And we came across this mine that was barred. It was covered in bars, and we got really excited until we turned the corner and found all of the bars blocking the mine, and then we were disappointed. But then I got in anyway. I apparated into the mine. Yes, we'll
We'll call it that.
we'll call it that. And that was just a really fun mine because it was very, very deep.
Mm-hmm.
Not only was it really, really deep, but when I got to the very end, to that T, I know I'm not petting you.
You're all.
I got to the T-junction, and I turned around and looked back, and I could still see the portal opening. I could see light coming in. It was that straight of a tunnel, which is an engineering feat in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some fun climbs that I got to do in that one. I really enjoy climbing around in mines. It's not the safest thing to be doing in a mine, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, what's funny is while he was in that mine, I didn't go in with him. I was outside the bars. Bear and Sarah kept running over to the bars and looking in because they knew he was in there. And they were, especially Bear was whining, just like, let me in. They're like, sorry, Bear, you can't get in there. You just wouldn't accept it. And so they just were running around in the hills, enjoying themselves. It was.
As you can tell, Bear loves the attention.
Yep.
So he likes going out with me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes. Do you have any more favorites?
Yeah, I also enjoyed the Belly of the Dragon. That we did.
That was in Kanab, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was north
Yeah.
of Kanab, Utah. We're on our way home from a
Very long.
very
drive.
long drive.
We drove to Texas.
Yeah.
We live in Nevada.
We drove to
Don't know if you
eastern
knew that.
Texas too. So
We drove to Texas and back.
it was
Galveston. That was fun.
a fun trip.
But on the way back, we found that Belly of the Dragon. It's
Mhm.
not a mine.
Nope, it's a tunnel, and we didn't stay at it too long. It's just one of these places I've heard of fun places to hike in southern Utah. Like I said, we're active. We like to go out hiking, even as a family. We've gone to national parks several times as families, and enjoyed it. And,
Bryce Canyon,
yep.
Zion's,
Zion's.
Arches.
Arches.
Zion's again,
Yeah. Zion's is fairly close.
and again, like 4 or 5 times, 5 or 6 times by now.
Yeah, like it's very close to it. But that short video was fun because right before we started filming, there was this couple leaving, and they had, hey Toby.
Hey, Toby.
They had
Oh dear.
their corgi with them, and we were home. I was getting homesick for my.
We're being
corgi.
attacked by dogs. This is Sophie. I have 3 of my daughters behind the camera, all trying to quietly motion for the dogs to come to them.
Oh, Toby.
Okay, enough with the dogs.
Go on.
You were saying?
But yeah, it was just fun because there's a little corgi there. Reminded me of our little corgi here, Mr. Toby. And at the end of it, it's, like I said, if you go farther than what we did, there's a trail that goes farther, and there's actually slot canyons. Yeah, if you're interested, just Google it. Easy to find. It's right off of Highway 89 in southern Utah, north of Knapp.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Any other favorites, or should we move on to Scary?
I don't have any other favorites on here.
So, scary moments from this year. I gotta say, the scariest moment for me, in hindsight, I wasn't in very much danger, if any at all. But in the moment, my ignorance thought I was in a lot of danger. And that was when I found explosives in an abandoned mine. It was a really cool mine. The gate to it had fallen down. Bear was with me. And we climbed over that, so the gate in and of itself was really cool. But about 20 feet into the mine, just on my right, there was this big, massive steel door. And as I'm pulling it open, I'm already just a little nervous because you don't find doors like that in mines out here. At least I don't. And I open it,
Big door.
and then I saw bags of explosives on the ground in this little tiny little drift, if it can even be called a drift, little storage area of this mine. And as soon as I read what was on the bag and realized what I was looking at, my ignorance put out all of the warning sounds, and I was genuinely worried that if I breathed wrong, I'd blow up.
Not fire.
So naturally, I continued exploring the mine.
'Cause that makes sense.
But the whole time I was exploring, I'm trying to stay calm for the camera, but inside, I'm freaking out, man. I don't want to be in this mine. So needless to say, I probably missed a lot of details in that mine, and got out of it as quickly as I could. But in hindsight, and as I did more research, I realized that that stuff that I found was inert. It was safe. Nothing was going to ignite it that I could do.
Yeah.
So I was not in any more danger than I usually am in an abandoned mine. But at the time, I didn't know that. So it got my heart running.
Yeah.
What about you?
So probably one of my scariest ones, the title of is the Holy Cow mine. That again was just a really long mine. That began when we were trying to get in. This was before we realized that the platforms were safe to go into it.
Yeah, there was a platform, but it looked like it was on a couple of rickety old 2x4s, and so I didn't dare put a lot of weight on it till I could get a better angle. And from the entrance, there wasn't a really good angle on it.
So we ended up going around and up and over those rocks and go.
There's a little pillar.
Yeah, there's a pillar that we went around, and he
Yeah.
went first, and I followed, and man, that was just nerve-wracking and scary to be going around, especially where down below there was a big old hole.
Yeah, so we had the pillar here, and we had a little tiny little tiny sketchy shelf, and then just immediately there was a hole, and I tossed a rock down, and it went a ways.
Yeah,
So she was faced with that.
but I made it.
You didn't spend as much time hiking and climbing and goofing around in the outdoors when growing up as I did.
Mm-mm.
But
Wasn't really
She's
until I
getting
got
really good at it.
not really until I got into high school when I joined specifically a hiking class. We went exploring all the places around where I grew up. Went to national parks nearby. It was fun.
Do you have to lick
Always
everything?
would hike up to the layer on the mountain where I grew up. And that was fun.
Another scary moment for me was also from the Unearthing an Abandoned Mine video.
Mm-hmm.
Unearthing it was really cool. Exploring it was really cool, but there came a point in that mine where there was a shaft just off to the side. So we were going down the tunnel, and then there's a shaft. Now, most of the time, you can walk right by them and there's no problem. But with this one, the ground was eroding away, and it was just this slide, a legitimate slide, sliding right into this shaft. And there was a ladder there, but the mine was damp. We couldn't really tell how sturdy that ladder was. It could have been just fine, but it also could have been very deteriorated and broken had we slipped.
Yeah.
So as I'm trying to climb past this, my feet are slipping. There's nothing to grasp on the walls, and all I can imagine is sliding down that slide and into the shaft. And as I'm crossing, in my mind, I'm planning, okay, what part of that ladder am I going to grab if I go down?
Mm-hmm. It was scary.
It was.
I thought about going across.
Frank started to.
Frank started to, and
he couldn't do it. He got stuck.
I think
The deteriorating ground was just giving away more than it did for me.
I kept telling myself, I'm going to do this, but I need Frank to move. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably best I not go over. But that was scary for me to watch him go over. So.
Well, it's that when I got over, I asked Mrs. 49er if she wanted to come, and as I'm saying the words, I'm telling myself, shut up, you moron, don't let your wife come over. And then I'm wondering, well, why am I over here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was scary for me, though. And
Yeah.
then continuing on in that hike by myself, I could tell the air was getting really bad.
Yeah.
And you can see in the video, my sentences were not making any sense. I was short of breath. I was breathing heavily. All classic signs of bad air.
Yep.
And I think if it had been much deeper, if I had stayed there much longer, I could very well have just passed out. Frank had an O2 meter with him, but I didn't. I do now.
Yeah.
He actually gave me one. Thank you for that, Frank.
Yep.
But I didn't at the time. Again, going back to what I said earlier in the video, I'd love to do something like that again, but take more safety precautions.
Mm-hmm.
Other scary moments for you?
Well, one we're the deep mine, unexpected place, but that was a big disappointment at the top of the mountain. It's really cool. Like you saw these, the rail car tracks going every which way, and it looked like there should have been a huge mine up there, but there wasn't.
Yeah, it was a big disappointment.
But
And my audio crapped out on us.
yeah,
That was annoying.
but the drive up and down was. That road was it was too small for the Jeep.
There's a reason we popped our tire
Yeah, there's a reason we popped our tire.
and bent our fenders
Yeah, we need.
and dented the door
Oh.
and broke the. My Jeep did not survive well on that road.
Yeah. A lot of it's just cosmetic, but it was scary because there are times we're going along and I'm in the back holding on like he said, and I was legitimately worried. And then what's funny is a few days later watching a YouTube video of what could happen if you rolled over on a hill. And
Yeah, Matt's off-road recovery.
off-road recovery. Yep.
I mean, there were moments when we were that close to the edge, and the edge, I don't mean the edge was like that, I mean the edge was like that.
There's
for
no edge.
50, 60 feet of just small cedar trees and rocks.
Yep.
So she had every right to be scared. Which is kind of brings up a good question. Why do I do this? Why do you do this? I mean, I'm an idiot, so that's my reasoning, but why do you keep coming along with me?
I like to spend time with you, but yeah, it started with him, and it's just fun for me to go along with them. Like I said, I like to go exploring places with them.
We're planning on giving her well, she's already got a camera, but having her film herself.
Mm-hmm.
Those videos won't come out probably until most of the way through this year.
Yeah.
I explore mine during the summertime because I teach during the school year, and so I don't really explore a lot during the year, during the winter time.
Plus
So I explore like nothing else during the summer. My goal every summer is to get 52 mines explored, just so I have enough footage to last through the winter time.
Yep.
And so I've already got about 33 weeks of video worth already filmed from this past summer and fall.
Yep.
So when I say this year, I do mean later on this year, but we're going to give her a camera and you'll be able to see footage from her perspective as well as from my perspective.
Instead of me just pointing things out, saying, "Oh, look at this, you missed."
And saying things that we can't hear because I've got the microphone.
Yep. We're working on it.
Yep. But that's going to be fun. I explore because I've got this inner drive to know what's beyond. I when I'm hiking, if I'm hiking around a mountain, I have to go to the top to see what's on the other side, even though I know exactly what's on the other side. More trees, more mountains. But there might be something else. And it's that chance that there's something else that makes me want to explore. I grew up devouring every Louis L'Amour book I could find. And if you know anything about Louis L'Amour, you know he had the same desire. I mean, his whole life was exploring. And every character he made had that urge, that manifest destiny, if you want to call it, or talk about that. And I've got some of that. I don't know if it's from Louis L'Amour. I don't know if it's because I had a pirate ship in my backyard when I was growing up. That was really cool.
Yep.
But that's why I do this. I love the thrill of exploring. I don't love the thrill of getting scared. I hate horror movies because I don't like being scared. But I love exploring abandoned mines. I'm like I said, I'm an idiot. I'm cuckoo. I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Probably the risks that I take are what I like the least, though. Because, I've got kids and dogs, obviously, lots of dogs, and a wife, and I've got responsibilities. And if I have an accident in a mine, is it worth it?
He always tells me where he's going, tells me about what time he's going to be back if he's going by himself. When we go together, we tell multiple people where we're going, what time we're going to be back. If we don't hear from us, we take our precautions.
But there's still that risk.
Yeah, there's still that risk.
And it's a legitimate risk, which is why I try to convey across to you guys that this isn't something that everybody should do.
Yeah.
It's a risk that I'm willing to take, whether right or wrong, I don't know. But that's what I like the least about what I do.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot left that we've got to share with you guys. Highlights of this past year. I got merch this last year. That was a lot of fun. That was exciting to make. Definitely a big highlight of the year was also that finding that mine. Not just because finding it and digging it out was cool, but that video is the most viewed video that I have. Second only to one. Or not even second only. One other one only comes close.
Yeah.
But it's because of that video that I reached certain qualifications in YouTube to actually start being monetized, which does not mean I'm making YouTube money. I make about $7 a week. Woohoo! I can retire! I can rule the world! What is it Calvin Hobbes says?
I have no idea.
He finds a quarter and thinks he can rule the world.
I don't read Calvin Hobbes.
That was a big milestone for this year, was becoming monetized. I had to have a certain number of subscribers, and I had to have a certain number of hours viewed within a 52-week time frame. And that video put us over the edge on that.
Yeah.
So I was really proud of that video when I made it, and I'm really happy about how well it did. You guys were awesome in watching that. A lot of you are new because of that video, and thank you so much for your support. I'm so glad you could join us. And you've had to put up with a lot. Bad audio. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
The microphone in the can. So grateful that's over. Ugh. I hated that more than you guys do. Trust me. When I got the new microphone, it really improved my videos, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I know you guys appreciated it as well.
Comments from video a couple weeks ago, the creepy building one is the title of it.
Something like that. That really creepy video a
Restaurant.
few weeks ago where I went down in the basement, thought there was a dead body in the fridge.
But that was his first big time using the microphone and got a lot of positive comments about it.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else you want to add? I think we've dragged our viewers on far enough.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
Not really.
Okay. The only thing I want to add last is to reiterate how grateful we are for your support. I would still be exploring mines, but it would not be as fulfilling without you guys to share it with. Your comments, I'd love to call you out by name, some of you who have been with me since the beginning, but I haven't asked your permission. Several of you have been with me for years, and I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your continued support. I appreciate your endurance. And those of you who are new, welcome to the channel. We are grateful for you guys to be coming along with us as well. Have a happy, Merry Christmas and New Year, and hope this next year is even better than this year.